Hi, I'm Tony Buffum with Human Cloud, and I'm here at SIA's CollaborationX conference in Dallas, Texas, live. And I'm talking now with Ken Schumacher of Ropes, who I just met this week. But man, you guys, there's a lot of hype because you guys just won the Shark Tank competition at this event. Tell me why you won.
That's a good question. You have to ask the judges. No, it's been a pretty crazy whirlwind of a week, and no, we're excited about all the momentum. I mean, Ropes at its heart is an assessment platform, but we're really trying to assess two things at once. You know, we think of it as personhood and skills. So I always say, who is in the seat, right? Is it Ken? Am I really in Dallas? Am I really the person I claim on LinkedIn or what have you, right? And then skills. Like, once you know it's me, am I actually going to go ahead and be successful on the job? We want to kind of combine those checks into a single assessment that relies on technology to do so. And yeah, it's awesome to find a home in the market. And no, the whole team is super stoked.
We were talking earlier. I love this space, flexible talent, accessing talent all over the world. It's tremendous, and it's, to me, a big part of the future of work.
Yeah.
But a big inhibitor to that is trust.
Yes.
And whether it's technology or people, this isn't a conversation that I think we would have thought we'd have maybe 5 or 10 years ago. But we're having it now because fraud and pretending that you're somebody that you're not, unfortunately, is a reality of working with global talent. I'm interested in, how did this evolve for Ropes? Like, where did this come from? And because it's extremely relevant. And tell me a little bit about the personhood piece of it.
Yeah, a lot of stuff there. So Ropes at its heart, again, was an assessment platform. I didn't know what staffing was 3 years ago when we founded the company, which seems to be a popular mantra in terms of everyone I talked to who got into staffing. But yeah, I was an engineer at a startup called Retool. I got to lead AI projects for them, so that was a blast. And the job was perfect, except for an hour a day I had to give this coding interview. People would cheat on it, and that's kind of where Ropes came about. So I built an assessment platform. I sold it initially to just in-house folks. So startups, teams that are doing in-house hires, and we were replacing engineering interviews with tests. I think the aha moment was we kind of accidentally sold to a staffing firm. They went to their client and said, hey, we have this cool, flashy tool. Everyone we send you will have been vetted out in a way that you can kind of control. That was a selling advantage for them. They made a lot of money with it, and that kind of got my attention, and now we're here. So yeah, that's Ropes in a nutshell. And I think it always was about skills. It still is, for what it's worth. A lot of the fraud we see is not people claiming they're not. It's just folks using ChatGPT to trick a recruiter into knowing something they don't. So Ropes is all custom. The idea is basically every rec looks a little bit different. We want to build an assessment that's custom to whatever that rec needs in terms of skill set. And then while we're doing so, we want to look at all those personhood checks to give kind of one final result that can be used to impact hiring.
Tell me about those personhood checks.
Yeah.
Like, how does that work? What's happening kind of behind the scenes?
Yeah, there's a lot of secret sauce, but the key is to look at a lot of different points. So we look at it as a good thing. There's a lot of candidates who are authentic in the job market and are real, and we want to almost give them the room to demonstrate, raise their hand, and be like, hey, yeah, like, we're legitimate. So sometimes that's through ID, sometimes that's through location, sometimes that's through just making sure they're going through the assessment in a valid and real way. But we look at this as kind of a way for everyone to work on an objective playing field, you know? A lot of recruiters, I hear this word detective a lot. They're sifting through LinkedIn's to see who is this person, right? Or they'll hop on the phone with a candidate and say, tell me about your experience. Or we don't want them to play detective. It's not what they signed up to do as a recruiter, right? Recruiters are supposed to be on the same team as candidates. So what Ropes is about is leave the technology parts to technology. Let us play detective, but more so validate everybody that's legitimate. Let recruiters get back to kind of the realness, and that's really what Ropes is about.
I like that. Rather than feeling like you're trying to catch fraud, it's more you're trying to elevate authenticity. Because people that really are authentic, looking for jobs, they go, man, it's so unfair to compete against people that don't even know what they're doing, but they at least can act like they do. But I actually know. Especially now, one of the things I get really excited about related to how work has evolved is skills specifically as opposed to jobs has really risen as what organizations are building their resourcing around. I want this outcome. It requires these tasks, requires these skills. I want to source for those skills, whatever that talent is. So tell me a little bit more about how you validate those skills so that they can operate the way that they hope to operate, which is a lot more flexible, focusing on skills.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of opportunity here.
Yeah.
I think one of the coolest things for me is when we see folks get placed who don't have a great background, right? I went to Penn, and that's very helpful when you apply to a job, right? Because you get picked up by a recruiter or what have you, right? But not everybody has that luxury, and there's way better developers than me who don't, right? So for them, I think it's really quite a cool and beautiful concept if we can get away from pedigree and more so get into, hey, you prove that you're going to be great for this role. You're at the top of the short list. Anyone who can really do the jobs well can get picked up. I think it's a great thing for the world first. In order to do that, it makes the vetting of the skills really, really important.
Yeah.
And that's really where we're trying to innovate is when Rope says, hey, we like this candidate's great, we're saying that with a ton of confidence. A lot of what Ropes is about is kind of holistic, right? So we don't want to serve these everyday sort of Java tests or anything like that, because Java at Amazon could look very different than Meta, which would look very different than JP Morgan. So instead, what we want to do is kind of understand the context of where's the contingent worker or where's the candidate going to be placed. And then we want to build a simulation for that. So if you're going to work for a banking client and you're going to work in the back end in fraud, we might build a simulation that says, hey, here's a credit card data set, right? We've already written an algorithm to find some types of fraud. Go find a couple more, right? Quick, fast, contextual, kind of interesting for the candidate, but really good predictor if that person's going to be successful because it's so similar to what they'll actually be doing.
That's what I get excited about the future of work, because we're narrowing more on, can you actually do the job?
Yes.
Can you actually deliver on the skills versus do you have a bunch of experiences that sound like maybe you've been around this before? And that's what's going to enable speed for organizations and agility for organizations to actually get things done.
And that's one of the top things that comes up. So when people hear assessment, they think extra step. And it's true. We have people do more work before getting a job because we want to vet out these abilities, right? But it's kind of the reverse in that you've got so many candidates sitting in your pipeline if you're on the staffing side of the house, right? Or you're just waiting for folks to trickle in, or if you're on the contingent side, you're just tired of HMs declining interviews or being slow, right? It's like there's an extra step here, but if we can really validate skills well, we remove all of this bureaucracy and slowness in the process. So really a lot of what we're about is speed. We have our COO is named Adam, and what he's always preaching is speed and quality. It's we want people to be really great, right? And we want to deliver them quickly. And as long as we work on those two axes, Ropes will be a great product and we'll deliver great outcomes. So that's really where we're focused.
And of course, it's built on technology.
Yeah.
Technology can be tricky for organizations to adopt. What are some of the hurdles that you run into in getting enterprises on board to adopting a new technology like Ropes?
It's hard. Change managers are really tricky in this industry. And I don't really come at it and blame fingers. Like, I think everyone is doing what they do for a reason. For a recruiter, it's really hard to all of a sudden start using this new tool and wait for a candidate to run through a test. For a salesperson, I already have a relationship with my client, right? What is this Ropes thing? How do I introduce it? So there's always hurdles in that sense. I think where we've been successful is kind of delivering success. So rather than trying to bite off more than we can chew, what we found is that success travels really quickly. In a POC, when we can deliver replacements, where we can deliver fraudulent candidates, and people can see the thing working, it organically spreads. A lot of what we focus on at Ropes is not just delivery outcomes for staffing firms, but becoming a differentiator. At CWS, every contingent leader is thinking about fraud, and they're all asking their suppliers, what are they doing, right? So when people hear those processes start to work, Ropes spreads very organically. Which we think is great. It really isn't in a place of, hey, you're forced to use this tool, all this stuff. The more we can do that's organic, I think the better it is for the ecosystem. And so far, that's worked. A long way to go, but that's kind of the process.
Well, and you mentioned developing and software development, engineering. Is that a sweet spot, or how broad is the application of Ropes from a cross-functional perspective?
Yeah, every single day, people start to pull us in more angles. So I was an app developer, and that's kind of where V0.0 of Ropes began. I think one nice thing is that our new customers sort of stand on the shoulders of giants in the sense that there's already been a lot of people who have asked for QA developers or network developers or what have you. There are some roles that we still don't run on ropes and don't plan to. So salespeople, recruiters, things that aren't project-based.
Sure.
This is so human that it's weird and I think difficult to have an AI come in and really assess skills well. So we stick to kind of the hard skill stuff, but there's a lot of breadth in that. And every day people are asking for new stuff. It really cracks me up. I mean, there's roles that it looks like Spanish to me. I don't even comprehend what's going on.
Yeah.
But that's why the platform has been successful, is kind of the range.
It's a good problem to have.
Good problem to have.
Hey, this is awesome. Where else can we use it? We want more.
Yeah, you learn a lot about chip design and all kinds of stuff. Yeah, but yeah, it's been awesome to see the growth.
CollaborationX is a really great conference.
Yeah.
I've had great conversations with a lot of folks. I love doing this podcast here, but I miss a lot of what's going on. Tell me about Shark Tank.
Yes.
Tell me what that experience was like.
Yeah.
Because I missed it.
Yeah.
So you can help catch me up.
A lot of people in the room.
Yeah.
A lot of people in the room.
No pressure, I'm sure.
Yeah, no pressure at all. No, it's really fun.
Yeah.
It's awesome to get up there, and I think one people that maybe people are starting to feel is like, it's not me, by the way, it's the team. We really care about this space a lot.
Yeah.
We're a younger team who's trying to build and do bold things in this industry, and we want to be extremely hands-on to see that success in person. So for those guys, I mean, seeing a room and understanding that this is really a widespread issue and hearing all those stories was really helpful. I was pretty shocked. I think the other 4 teams on stage each were just incredible, and I think that's why we're so excited about this space. It's not just ropes, certainly not me, it's the team, but everybody is building just crazy cool stuff. And I think what staffing firms are starting to correctly do is just go try it. Just go have the conversations. Just go throw it live, because you can listen to podcasts, you can do all this stuff. And I think that's great to understand what's out there. But until you actually see it live on your roles, it's just a different feeling. So,
yeah.
But yeah, it was an awesome experience. And we're super lucky to learn it, because everyone else there was pretty incredible.
So people are listening to this podcast. They're learning about it. They understand
awesome.
They're getting awareness of it. But where do they go to learn more?
Yeah.
Can they get a demo on a website, or how do they start to get their hands on it?
Yeah, I think we have a saying, it's like show, don't tell.
Yeah.
So ropes.ai is your place to go ahead, get a demo. We do all kinds of stuff to make sure you can see the product before you move forward. See us on LinkedIn, ropes on LinkedIn. But yeah, ropes.ai is probably the best place to reach us.
That's great. So when you look at whatever's next, I mean, people are asking you to use ropes for HR jobs or whatever. Maybe that's outside your scope. But what are you excited about that is on the horizon?
Yeah, a lot. The roadmap is ambitious. I think there's so much more to build. Listen, we want to go slow enough to make sure we deliver for our customers.
Yeah, you want to do it right.
Yeah, and I think we've been able to deliver on that. And it's funny, you look 8 months, 10 months back, and people are appreciative of taking the jump. But first and foremost, we got to do right by the folks that we signed today and make them super successful. I think up and down the stack, there's a ton of different opportunities. One of my biggest roles is hiring, ironically. So I'm spending a lot of time building up the engineering team. I know some
staffing agencies that can help you with that.
On Shark Tank, somebody asked me, like, one of the judges' questions was, hey, what are you looking for? And I was like, we're hiring in New York. And then I realized I said that to 400 staffing firms. So I got a lot of emails last night.
Yeah, of course.
No, hiring is hard.
Yeah.
So ourselves are kind of going through the pain, and we work with our customers, which is awesome. So it's nice being the client for your own product. You learn a lot of things that you feel like you probably should know, but when you're the end user, you pick up a lot of stuff. So a lot of work still to be done, a lot of products still to build, but conferences like these are awesome. And my goal is I'm head cheerleader and just having a lot of conversations. So everyone I've spoken to today, from this week, really, from contingent leaders to our customers to active prospects to just new folks, other vendors. I think it's an incredibly exciting time to be in this space. So we're pumped.
Where will you guys be next? Do you know, like, what's the next
flying
people
around
that are
the
out there?
country?
Yeah.
We'll see product-wise. I think we've definitely developed the need, and we have the technology. And a lot of my work right now is literally flying across the country and visiting all of our customers and prospects. Just to educate them that these tools are out there. I think that's probably the hard part, if I was a staffing leader, is you've got all of these real problems on your hands, right? And those never go away. At the same time, you have an incredibly fast pace of technology.
Yeah.
So where I'll be next is, talking to more prospects and customers and just educating them on what's out there and helping them see ropes, because we're excited about the direction.
Well, that's great. Really great meeting you. I think it's a really exciting technology. And thanks for taking the time to talk.
Of course. Appreciate you guys having me on.
Thanks.
Yeah.